I'm John Lee with St. Louis Real Estate Investors Association. Got Laura up there. She's helped me today. I don't think Lloyd's going to be here. He had a couple of grandkids, and I don't know about anybody else. So we're just going to go ahead and network. And just a couple of things. Let's see. As we let everybody in here. Good morning. Sure. Future things coming up, I guess. We'll do that first. Let's see. Tuesday is our main event at the Moolah Shrine Center. We have Jason Schroer, who's a St. Louis County inspector. And the guy's very insightful. This is going to be good. If you have any rental properties, or you have anything to do with rental properties, or you have regular properties you buy and sell in St. Louis County, we can get a little bit of insights from Jason on the inspection process and how to get along with him. I've talked to him, and his whole objective is to try to get along with people. And he's not just a bad guy like everybody kind of thinks sometimes. And he's going to kind of enlighten us on that, on how we can kind of get our inspections done right and get it done the first time, because they're not just looking for things to find wrong with your properties. I used to kind of joke saying that, that's how they keep their job, is by finding stuff wrong. And that's really not the reason behind it all. And so he's going to be there, and we'll have a lot of times for Q&A, for questions and answers. Jason is a previous firefighter in our area, so he has a lot of insights, what to look for and why they do what they do. So if you can all make it, I would highly recommend that. And we are going to be in a tighter time schedule on Tuesday than normal, because Jason has another meeting and he has to leave at 7:45. So he'll be starting actually at 6:45 instead of 7, like our normal main events. Let's see here. Then we have the following month. We had a couple of changes on there. That's why I don't like to announce stuff too far in advance. We were just talking about that because things do change. Our speaker that we were going to have, his wife's having some medical procedures done, so he's not going to make it. But Katharyn Davis is going to join us. She hasn't talked to our group in a couple of years on location. I know she, as you probably know for tuning in, she does come on for Ask the Attorney first Friday each month right here. And so she's going to be coming on and talking about a lot of the updates. There's a lot of stuff going on in St. Louis area. We have another, I'm in a small group, Laura and I, with actually Katharyn Davis is in there, the St. Louis Housing Coalition, and we're meeting again on Monday. It's even a smaller group than normal, talking about some things that they're looking for some help with. So we're going to be finding out, there'll be some opportunities for people too. So if there's some ways you want to get involved with helping St. Louis housing, because there's a lot of things going on, and we can all we have a lot of insights that they don't have, at least the politicians and the aldermen. So we're going to be meeting with some of them and trying to see if we can collaborate and figure some of that stuff out. Couple of future things we got going on too. Of course, we got some got a guy from cleaning and restoration, which is going to be really good. And also a guy on windows and doing some updates on your homes. That's coming up. Then later in the year, we're not sure when exactly, but we're looking at August and October. I talked to Kimberly Hicks. She's from the state of Missouri, and they do, this is very interesting, and they do certifications for minority and women-owned businesses. And certification, I know a lot of times it doesn't sound like much, but this actually can get you like an inside seat, a seat at the table to talk to some of the bigger players and the people doing stuff. And just there is a process you have to go to be certified. So this will be very interesting. And we might have her do a virtual event before she comes in person, but we're not sure about that, but we'll find out some more information on that. And I'll let you know as I find out. If you do have anything, if you are interested in any of that, you can always send me a message, and I'll let you know. But you can always watch the website or tune in here every Friday, which is what I'd recommend, because things change every day. I had a lot of things even change this morning since we've been looking at some of this. And only one other thing. Monday is my mentor and my coach and friend Robert Allen's birthday. He's going to be 76 years old. So our groups have designated it Nothing Down Robert Allen Day. We made it an official holiday, and we have Bob's blessings on that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have, I know some of you guys have already registered, I've seen. What we're going to do is we're just going to show a couple of deals that we did with little or no money. And then just talk about some things that you can do. and, have other people. I know, I talked to a couple people that have done some things with no money out of pocket. You're welcome to come on and talk, or just say happy birthday, or just see what we're doing. It's going to be a very short, brief little meeting. It's going to be 7 p.m. Central Time on Monday. So, and anybody that wants to register, I was going to give you a copy of my book, Secrets of a Dealionaire, revised or revisited. Excuse me, it's not revised, revisited, and that's the one that Robert Allen wrote the forward for. So that's kind of interesting. It's the first time I've given away a copy other than what Amazon does. So anyway, if you have anything to that you want to say on that, or you want to join us, I'd be happy to have you. So with all that, I guess we'll have Laura start a disclaimer, and then we can then get going. Laura, I see you up there.
Yes, you do. Good morning and welcome, everyone. First, I'd like to do a bit of housekeeping. Feel free to unmute yourself when it's your turn to speak. Please be mindful of everyone else by muting yourself while others are speaking. You're welcome to put any contact information that you want to share into the chat. We meet here to share deals, look for deals and solutions we have in need with our real estate. We are not your financial advisors, attorney, or accountants. We do not endorse or recommend any specific solutions or contractors here. You're advised to do your own due diligence to your own satisfaction before you invest. The first Friday of each month is Ask the Attorney with Ms. Katharyn Davis. Our meetings are typically recorded, so only share what you want others to know.
Thank you, Laura. Good to see everybody. A lot of nice smiles out there. Does anybody have, excuse me, anybody like to start off? They have anything they want to buy or sell, or anything they're working on? They had questions on.
Just got a quick question, John.
Sure, Eric.
With Robert Allen. Good morning, everybody. That meeting with Robert Allen, which day is that?
I'm sorry, Eric. What was your question?
The meeting with Robert Allen. Like you said, next week. I registered. What day is that?
Is that the Monday evening meeting?
That's Monday evening. Yeah. Bob will more than likely not be joining us. He did give us his blessings, and there's some other things. We've got some free gifts that we sent along that he did. And also Tom Painter. Tom, I don't know if you read the book, The Challenge. He's the one that actually did the coaching for the people in St. Louis back when they came here, took people out of the unemployment line. And Tom had started a foundation a few years ago strictly for education. He's donated millions of dollars towards this, and it's successandmoneyfoundation.org. It actually is what it is. And just for getting educated, he actually has he does a lot in the Philippines and a lot in our country too, but he will give you, you can have a free membership in his group, which I joined when it was new, but it's all about education. There's nothing ever to buy. And he actually will pay you money for getting educated in the financial area. So I encourage everybody to join. I'll have a link on Monday, but you can, if you want it ahead of time, I'd be happy to give it to you. But that's Monday, Eric, at 7 p.m. And it will be a real brief meeting. We're just going to talk about some stuff, kind of celebrate Robert Allen, who's turned into a good friend of mine. I met him several years ago, but he did the original book, Nothing Down, which a lot of it started with because most of us didn't have any money when we started. I mean, some of us did, but not very many of us. So anyway, so that'll be fun. So that's Monday at 7 p.m. Yep, Fabian, you got your hand raised. You can.
Oh, I just want to let you guys know I do have a property that's supposed to, should be going back on the market here later on this evening. It's out in Pattonville, 11541 Patty Ann. I just pasted the link. It's gonna go back on for $339.95. Split unit, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and then there's a bonus room downstairs in the basement's fully finished. And like I said, should be back on the MLS in a few hours. For full transparency, had some foundation issues and was able to get ramjack, put in some helical anchors to actually secure the unit. So it's will be back on the market here shortly.
Thank you, Fabian. How would you like people to get in touch with you if they're interested in that?
They could reach me at FabianSTL@gmail.com.
Okay, that's PHABIANSTL
at gmail.com.
Okay, thank you.
And the foundation comes with a lifetime structural warranty from Ramjack St. Louis. So
Excellent. All right, there's a good opportunity for someone, and you're putting that back on the market today, you said?
yes, should be going up here in a couple hours.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mhm. All right, anybody else have anything that they have for sale here? Always a good place to start. No, got anybody looking for anything? I know Laura's up there. She's always looking for stuff. Laura Lennington there. And Raquel, you got your hand up. Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I am looking for a 2-family to 4-family. Looking for it to be anywhere from, let's say, 250 or less. The less work, the better. I am looking for this 2-family to 4-family to do a house hack. And it can be in the city if need be.
Okay, and it can be in the city, so you're really kind of open for areas. Is that what it sounds like,
Yeah,
Raquel?
I'm completely open.
Okay. I see Laura said she may have something for you, so you might want to take her number down.
Okay.
Would you like to share your number verbally with us, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. Raquel or anyone, you can call me at 719-648-8365.
Alrighty. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, Laura's always a big help for people, and she's helped a lot of members here. So appreciate that. And Raquel, that's a lot of fun. It looks like house hacking, so it sounds like you're gonna move in there. And is your plan to stay there permanently, or is this like something you want to do just for a little while, or
Well,
just
what
curious?
it's gonna do is the goal is for me to be able to live my life on the mission field. So whether I'm in Japan or Uganda or Kenya, I want to be able to stay longer in the mission field, but I still need to have a place to stay when I come home. So
Gotcha.
that's my goal, is to still have a place, something that's generating income that can still, be paid for while I'm out in the mission field.
Sounds like a good way to do it too, because you'll have somebody actually in the property while you're not there, which is a big plus, because empty properties, there's usually not a lot of good that happens with that. So how often do you go, Raquel?
Well, I haven't did a international mission for 2 years now. I've had a lot of debts in the family that have held me back. And right now, still dealing with my brother has cancer, recently diagnosed, and then I'm dealing with my godfather, getting him through his last ream of therapy. And so now I'm ready. I'm ready to like take off. But I know financially, I still need to have things set. So I'm gonna be leaving for longer periods of time. Local, national wide, I do like Las Vegas about twice a year, but those are short trips of me doing the weekend here where I might stay 3 or 4 days away. But when I do international, usually that's 14 days, but I'm looking to do longer. I want to stay longer into certain places. Wherever I feel like God send me, I want to be able to, impact. So that's my goal. So I gotta set my finances straight, housing straight. So when I come back into the States, if I decide to stay 6 months, I'm okay. If I decide to bounce around and be gone for a year, I'm fine that I can come back to St. Louis and still have a place to stay.
That sounds like a great plan and a great focus, Raquel. And our prayers and thoughts are with you and your family. I know that's you're going through a lot of things, and that's tough things to go through. It sounds like you're handling things pretty well, considering everything. So we just want the best for
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate it.
Glad
Yeah,
to see you here.
so I'm open to a lot of possibilities, whatever anyone come creative with an idea, I'm open.
That's great. I think, and I do think you ought to maybe talk to Laura, or definitely, because she's definitely a person that comes from the heart and will help you any way she can. So you're
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Amber, you got your hand up there? One of our board members, you got something there?
Yeah, just most people who house hack are and obviously I don't know your situation. So from a financial perspective, most people who house hack get a FHA loan. You are required to stay in that property for 365 days, so 1 year. So just think about that as you're considering your mission trips. It has to take place after your 365 days. Otherwise, you are potentially considered it's considered mortgage fraud if that's not your permanent residence.
Well, it is my permanent residence. Going on
Copy.
mission trips and traveling it's like traveling for work. I'm not a resident of another country.
Understand.
still
I'm
a
just telling you
resident.
to be careful
No,
when
you're
you're thinking
good.
about it. Yep.
No, I think that's great. That's good advice. But no, whatever house I choose, that is my permanent residence. So you are good, and thank you. So I can keep that in mind.
I got a quick question for somebody.
Good information.
I'm looking to see if anybody know the zoning department for St. Louis County. If anybody knows that number.
Did you say zoning department?
Yes, St. Louis County.
I would say talk to Jason Schroer on Tuesday night, and he'll tell you probably exactly who to talk to. If you're planning on going Tuesday, he would be the one to actually talk to. If you can't make it in person, we will have it available on Zoom, but you don't always get we can't always get your questions out there. I know he will be happy to answer them, and he will give you some contact information, but I know you can get your answer right on the spot, Eric, probably from him on Tuesday. So.
Okay.
And let's see, it looks like Daniel, looking for a window contractor.
Yeah, preferably one who won't take my down payment and disappear like the other guys.
Oh, no.
Which I just got back, but yeah, no, I've got a couple recommendations. So thank you very much for that.
Are you doing all the windows or what?
No, and that's the problem. I've just got two windows that are failing, and I was going to just replace those. So I think the job's not big enough to be bothered with by some. But
Hey, Daniel, question for you. You want to give us some insight as far as who actually ran away with your money, just so we can stay away from them in the future, please?
Yes, O'Fallon Window and Doors for my O'Fallon house that needed windows, but yeah, I had to get my bank involved to get that back, and it was a mess. So yeah, for them.
How did you find out about O'Fallon windows and
I just did a Google search for windows in O'Fallon, and that's what came up.
Wow.
So it's a real business, right? Like it's not just a guy. Like they got a website, they got a truck, but I don't know what happened, but it was an unpleasant experience.
Oh, sorry. Always sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I see Stacy recommended Penny Window. They are great. I've used them many times over the years. In fact, the place we're at right here, we just built, we use Penny Windows for. They wouldn't come out here to deliver them, but we went and took our trailer and picked them up. Had somebody else put them in, but they are very, very good. They've done, actually years ago, they did some custom work for me too. I had a place down in Baden, and because it's in the conservation district, they made me replace the front window, which was curved, and it was weird. I didn't have to put the stained glass back in, but it was kind of a custom window, but they were able to do that. So they are good and reasonable. Look like somebody else, let's see. Linda said Tim, the window guy, Cupiano. I'm not familiar with him, but that's another good recommendation, it sounds like.
Yes, he's very good and he's honest. I enjoyed working with him. And Daniel, I only had a few windows to replace also.
Perfect.
There you go. Yeah, we do have a window guy coming up too in let's see. Not this month, it's next month, I believe in June. And let's see, Jason, let me find him here. Jason Diekman, he's a window expert, and you may want to come and talk to him too. That's July 16th. If you need him done sooner, though, I'd go ahead and call these other recommendations first. But hopefully get in the right direction, and I'm really sorry about your experience. You know, I tell you, contractors is one of the tougher things that a lot of people deal with. And I've never had anybody take off my money like that. I've gotten bad deals from people that I wish they would have just taken off with my money and not left me in a bind, but you know, that's how you live and learn. But that's why you always want to get recommendations from people that have used them. Good stuff to know. And thanks for sharing that too. Let's see, anybody else got anything that here? Let's see.
Hey everyone, it's Blake Silverman.
Hey Blake.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Nice to see some friendly faces. I know it's been a couple Fridays since I've last seen everyone. I'm heading back home. I'm in Italy right now, planning on getting back home in a week from today. But I am always looking to buy. Looking for anything from a 3-unit up to 12 units or so. Not necessarily limiting myself on zip code. The only areas I'm, kind of trying to stay away from are North City and North County. Anybody by chance has any knows of anyone looking to offload any of their properties, I will put some of my contact information into the chat.
Okay. Did you say there was any guidelines you had as far as how, monetary? Is there any minimums or maximums you want to spend, Blake?
I would say not necessarily. I try to stay around, 100,000 per unit, give or take. My strategy is a burr, so anything, I'm not opposed to turnkey, but a little bit of work isn't out of my realm. Nothing structurally though, no floodplains, nothing too crazy, but I'm willing to put in about 15-20,000 to light rehab into each unit. And vacant or not, it doesn't make a difference to me.
Okay. You're mainly looking for cash flow when it's all said and done. Would that be fair?
Cash flow, working with some investors who, good for depreciation and, just looking to underwrite as many deals as I possibly can. Just, keep the deal flow coming in and hopefully we'll have some offers that sticks.
Okay, and would you like to give your contact information verbally too for anybody watching the replay?
Yes, I can. Cell phone 636-489-8353. And then my email is info at all one word silvermanrealestate.net. I will also put that into the chat.
All right, thank you, Blake. And just out of curiosity, what are you doing in Italy? Is it vacation or something else?
Well, I've actually been out in Europe since January. So as some of you know, I'm actually a student at the University of Arizona. I'm studying real estate, and I've been doing a study abroad program in Barcelona. And my semester just ended about 3 weeks ago. So my family just came out. We've been doing a couple cities, smaller towns in Spain. Now I'm in Italy for now, and then I go to London in a few days. Just traveling around with my family before I finally come home after quite the semester. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm ready to get back in the swing of things since I have been out here since January.
That's a long time. It sounds like a great trip.
It is. It's actually really cool. Not that this has much of any interest to me, but I figured I'd share it. I don't know if anyone else has heard of it. So there's some smaller towns in Italy. They're in need of being revamped and, having some rehab. And of course, they're small towns, nowhere coastal. They don't have a whole lot of people's interest. But what's cool is the Italian government, they're selling the house. Of course, they're vacant. And they're selling them for €1. And what they'll do is you have to pay closing costs. You pay €1 for the actual house. and then they give you like a 24 or 36-month window of time where you have to rehab the house up. And what their objective with this is to restabilize that community that has, you know, since been vacated, you know, 50, 60, 70 years ago. Like I said, it's not really something that I'm interested in, but who knows? I just thought it was interesting, and it's, you know, kind of one of those economic promotional programs that the government's trying to run out here. So I just thought it was interesting.
It sounds very interesting. And did you find out about that through school?
I do. I believe it was school. You know, it's funny. Some of the classes I took aren't necessarily pertaining to real estate, but and granted, I was in Barcelona, so it's not that I had a whole lot of exposure to the country of Italy. But I do believe it was a business ethics class. I do think one of my professors made mention of that, and it kind of stuck out to me. I'm like, you know what, let's look into this a little bit. Granted, I don't know how much really infrastructure is in these towns. I don't know. Tourism is, unless, you know, you're off of a coast in Italy, tourism typically isn't super, you know, prevalent, especially when it comes to like the idea of like having Airbnb. I just don't know that it catches people's interest, which is obviously why, you know, low demand. They're basically giving these houses away at closing cost plus €1, and then what I would imagine to be north of 100,000 euros to fix it up. But I just thought it was cool, and you know, it's interesting to just kind of get a synopsis of whatever's going on out here and how it may be a little bit different than in the States.
Sounds very interesting.
Real quick, there was a woman, she used to be a Sopranos actress. She did exactly what you're talking about. I believe it's a Netflix. You can probably Google Sopranos actress, but yeah, I saw a documentary where she did exactly what you're talking about. She rehabbed the house. I think she bought it for, you know, €1. So the interest is out there, but to your point, it's extremely hard, especially coming from the States, if you don't have a team in place.
Not only that, but, you know, unless you're in the situation, in the position in your life where you're like, you know what, I'm willing to either A, put in the work myself, or B, find a reputable contractor, and then wanting to have that lifestyle of just living out in this community that doesn't really have a whole lot of sustainability or infrastructure behind it. You know, it's kind of a lifestyle decision, but like I said, I just thought it was interesting, so I figured I'd share.
Hey, Blake, what is the euro rate out there right now?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The euro rate. What is the euro rate out there in Europe right now? The euro rate.
€1 is $1.12 US. So euro goes a little further. I saw your lips moving, but I didn't hear anything.
You're muted, Eric.
I'll be in Germany in about a couple of months. That's what I was asking.
Okay. What city?
In Germany, I'll be in a town called Germersheim. That's where I lived at for some years.
I think I remember you telling me that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, summertime here I've definitely seen a lot more tourists coming out here, especially in the coastal towns. It's, you know, definitely they're starting to get up to their peak season. So it's an exciting time. But like I said, I'm ready to get back home and get back in the routine again.
Thanks for sharing that, Blake. Very interesting stuff, and we'll love to hear more about it when you get back too.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing everyone soon.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. David, do you have something you want to say? I see your hand up.
Yeah, something kind of exciting, I think. Apparently yesterday, House Bill 2062 passed and is now waiting for the governor's signature for next week, which he's supposed to sign it. And some interesting things about that are that the state of Missouri has said, up yours. I'm sorry, that's a play off of Independence Day, but it still means the same thing, up yours. That bill passed and tells the federal government, you can't come into the state of Missouri and tell us that we can't evict tenants. So this whole COVID thing, moratorium, they just passed a state law saying that they cannot forbid landlords from evicting tenants. So woohoo, that's really exciting on that. The second thing that it passed with it is that the what do we call it? When somebody moves in and you can't get them out because they just moved in. What's the word for it?
Waters.
Waters. Thank you. Yeah, they passed a Waters bill that says that you can't shoot them in the head, but you can get them out of the house now real easily. And so this will be really cool, I think, for the city of St. Louis, where you have that as a pretty big problem with squatters. But anyway, that also passed. The third thing that passed, I don't know if I should mention it because it's not related to real estate. However, I'll still mention it because I got all kinds of crap when I posted this in my subdivisions HOA Facebook group. I tried to just talk about the bill. And one of the things that also passed is that in Missouri, none of these HOAs can prevent you from having chickens. So we can now evict our tenants when we need to. We can kick squatters out, and we all get to eat chickens in our backyard. That's the three things from Bill 2062 that passed yesterday. So I thought that was real interesting. Thought I'd share that with our group.
So David, I'm pretty sure that's the same bill that I was looking at and that the realtors were pushing for, because it did include those things, but also included land banks.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, the whole land. Now, of course, St. Louis kind of had that, but yeah. So the I guess statewide might be the way to explain that. So now you can use the land bank system. And of course, we could be on here for another 20 minutes talking about what that is. And I'm not skilled to really talk about that myself. But yeah, that's also another part of it too. Yeah, they combined a couple things and somehow the chickens got in with it. And so they combined all this stuff and passed it yesterday.
So the other piece that we were trying to push that got stripped, it did get through at first, but then got stripped, was the source of income. So that Kansas City passed a law that, and I know it's already in place, passed a law saying that landlords had to accept Section 8, and we're pushing to get that you can't be forced to do business with the government if you don't want to. That got stripped away for some reason, so we're going to be working on that next year.
Wow, great. Yeah, appreciate that. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, David. That's some interesting stuff. And Dave also. I know you're running for office there. We appreciate the extra insights.
Yeah, I don't remember the chicken part on that bill, but it's there, it's there.
But somebody just got in fact, I think they live in Wildwood. They just a friend of ours, that one of our neighbors has a friend there. They just gave us a bunch of eggs because they had a battle, I think, with their homeowners association. And that was one of the things, they could not get rid of their chickens. But if you don't butcher your chickens or do something with them, and some of the eggs get away, she's all of a sudden went from like 6 chickens to like over 60 chickens in just about a year's time. So that's something to keep in mind too. So chickens is another interesting thing. And I think there might be something about roosters in some neighborhoods, but I'm not even sure about that. I know out here we got people that complain about roosters. So I don't know what all the details are, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that. So thank you for that. Yeah, let's see what else we have. Ann Bearden also said Penny Windows is great. Yeah, we talk about them. They're good. And also wanted to give a shout out to Laura Linnington. And she's awesome. Yes, she is. She just closed a sale this past Wednesday. Did a great job. That's great. Congratulations. Love to see that. Here's Blake's information. Amber Lorraine Bracco is the actress. Okay, that was let's see. And then okay, Renee, let's see, would be nice if they banned HOA being able to take your property from you for being a couple hundred behind in fees. I mean, you can't really forcing Section 8. Okay, you want to unmute yourself, Renee? I'm not familiar with the HOA being able to take your property. I know they can put a lien on it. you know,
Yeah,
for-
in some states they can take it. I don't know about Missouri, but in some states, like if you get behind, you have to sign something that says they will foreclose on your property. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah, Renee, in the state of, because I do short sales, I know this stuff very well. And in the state of Missouri, an HOA has the rights in their documents to file that lien, and it attaches to your property. And I just had a recent short sale where, by gollies, the idiot HOA foreclosed. They actually executed. That's not what you're supposed to do. We argued on the phone with the guy, said, look, you're an idiot. Okay. You file it, and you can even do the foreclosure, but don't foreclose. Just scare the crap out of them, but don't actually do it. And the idiot goes and he forecloses, and he calls back about 2 weeks later begging me to help him, because when they do that, the HOA literally owns the house. Now they got to cut the grass, they got to shovel the driveway, they got to keep vagrants out of the house, okay, and stuff. And it's like, and he's begging me, how do I get out of this? And I said, well, the reason you shouldn't have done it is because the first mortgage is still in place. You guys don't really own anything other than you physically own the house, yes, but you got all the encumbrances that are still with that. And so you have to pay off that lien, which it couldn't because it was underwater. It was a short sale. And that's what I was trying to work on at the time, when the guy pulls his thing up for a foreclosure. So yeah, in the state of Missouri, yeah, they can take that house, and they had to cut the grass. And it was even funnier than that, because now they can't charge HOA dues because they're the owner of the house at that point. And so it's hilarious. I think I even have it recorded, because I have a CRM system in my real estate business, and I record my seller calls and stuff. But yeah, it's true. Yep, they can take the house in the state of Missouri.
Now, if that's through a foreclosure process, because my understanding in Missouri is if you're not the first lien, other than taxes, that's a whole different story, but you have to be able to buy out the first, second, or whatever liens are ahead of you. Is that still the case, or did they change that somewhere along the line?
Well, yeah, I mean yes, if you want to turn around and sell the house to somebody else, yes, then you have to pay that off. Okay. But no, they can take legal ownership of it. And so technically, they could rent it out. They literally physically own it on the public records on it. But it doesn't get rid of the first mortgage
Hey, what's going on, man?
stuff. So anyway, that's
No,
they can do a normal foreclosure on there.
So
Okay,
does the HOA own it right now? I mean, is that like a current thing that's going on where they are currently the owners with a mortgage to pay?
Yeah. Well, they're not going to pay the mortgage,
Okay.
obviously, which means then that mortgage will then foreclose, right? Okay, and then and so then they'll lose everything.
Well, I might be interested in paying the mortgage.
On it.
I don't know. It just could be, sounds like a possible creative deal at this point, depending on the value of the property and what the numbers are and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I'd have to go back to my notes and see what actually happened with it. I know this is horrible and terrible, but I was so pissed off I declined to help him. Because I tried so hard. I called all the trustees in the subdivision. The trustees in the subdivision said, well, we have this organization that we pay to handle this stuff, and they've got attorneys and people to file stuff. And so I tried to talk to them, and they kind of put me off, and I tried so super duper hard with it and stuff. But yeah, people, there were drug people that had moved into the house, and so they're having all kinds of issues. I can go back and check my records. It's been a couple months. I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be really interested in, if you're washing your hands of it and it doesn't mean much to you, I'd be interested in just looking at whatever info you have, and maybe I could reach out to them and just see what their situation is.
Yeah, it you would most likely have to try to do some kind of short sale with the bank because they owed too much.
Okay.
on it. That was kind of the problem in the first place with the homeowner itself. But yeah, I'll try and take a look over the weekend and see if I can find that information.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, great. Well, sorry that it worked out that way, but it's an interesting story. You've got all kinds of nuggets today, David, with the chickens and everything. I love it.
Oh yeah, that was a huge mistake. Put it, because I'm in an HOA, and so everybody's got their opinion, and so I'm not a very, I was posting about the bill being passed, and they started focusing on the chicken part, and then they started saying their own opinion back and forth, and as if state law had no meaning, type thing, and so I just then people, I mean, you should see some of the GIFs that they posted on. It's amazing. I don't know if we're able to share screen on here on it. Are you able to share a screen, John, or anything?
I think I can get that. Hold on a second.
I mean, I don't know if it's worth our time to look at chickens on thing, but these are some pretty cool GIFs. Yeah, I don't know how people get these things.
Yeah, try that, David.
Okay, let me see here. Click. Share screen, share that screen. Try that. Okay. Can you see that one GIF right there
Yeah.
with the chicken guy? And then what do we have here? We had another one here, on chickens, and it's like, holy cow, guys, this is crazy. I didn't think I would get a firestorm going here with it and stuff. But yeah, anyway, we'll stop sharing my screen here on that. Amazing what Facebook can do for you.
Interesting stuff. I see, Jay, we didn't ask you. You had a comment you put in there, I guess, about your private money. You want to tell us about that? Just trying to cover all the bases here.
Yep, I'm a private money broker, and I finance fix and flips, fix and keeps, and refi reboots. I also finance commercial and multi-families. Matter of fact, anything to do with real I finance. So if you have anything, give me a call. I'll be able to help you out.
Thank you, Jay. And how can people get a hold of you if they're watching the replay?
Oh, yeah. They can call me at 314-513-1982. Thank you, John.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Let's see. And anybody else? I don't see. I think we covered everybody in the chat there. Sometimes it's easy to miss that stuff, and I like to try to go back if we can. So a lot of interesting things today. A lot of things going on.
Hey, John, if it's okay, I'll just give the group a reminder of who I am and what I do, if that's okay.
Absolutely, Lara.
Awesome. Yeah. And I just want to also shout back out to Ann Bearden. She's an awesome investor to work with. So I appreciate the kudos she gave me. We've done 2 together now, and yeah, she's awesome. And we discovered we're both night owls. So we got a lot of stuff done at night, which was great for both of us, but you don't have to be a night owl to work with me.
Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, my name's Laura Lennington. I'm an investor. I currently own 18 doors. I'm always looking for more. I've done everything from simple wholesale and JV deals to buying, an 11 unit subject to with less than $500 out of my own pocket. So I've kind of done a lot of different things in real estate, and I really do love helping other real estate investors. If any of you own a property you don't want to own, you don't really want to deal with it, give me a call. It might be something that I would either want for myself, or I could help you find a good buyer to help you meet your goals, or maybe I just know someone else who's got some sort of skill set that I'm not great at that could help you with whatever goal you have. So I'm also in Illinois and Missouri. I'm a licensed agent in both states, and I live in Illinois. I drive to Missouri all the time. But if you're ever one of those people that doesn't want to drive over this way and you've got something real estate related you'd like help with, I live here. So I'll put my contact info in the chat, and I'll also say it out loud. Again, my name is Laura Lennington, and my phone number, as I said before, is 719-648-8365. And my email is my name, Laura, Laura, .c as in cat, .Lennington, LENINGTON @gmail.com. And feel free to reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And Laura is good to work with. I will definitely second that. So, and Ann's as nice as they get too. So some really good people. I'm glad you guys show up here. This is a great place to meet. It's a safe environment too. That's what I like about our Friday group too. It's kind of developed over the years. I know we started off with Katharyn Davis, keeping us updated on all the stuff, and it's just turned into a really good networking place. And I know we have a lot of people go back and watch replays just for some of the contacts. And that's one reason I'd like to encourage you to also mention your name verbally as well as put it in the chat. So, all right, David, did you have something else to your hand up?
Yeah, I just thought of a win. Sometimes people like to report wins on there. And so just yesterday, I had a short sale student get a Fannie Mae short sale approval on a $400,000 house for $180,000 on it. Fannie Mae short sale, and got the approval on their portal. I could show you my phone if I knew where my phone was, to buy that house for $180,000. That's really cool. My student's really happy. That's the second short sale, by the way.
That's great, David. Thank you. All right. Anybody else have anything you'd like to share today? A lot of good information. See, Stacy's up there. Would you like to talk about your property management company? I know we didn't really talk to David too much, so I think looked like he had to go. I know he's a busy guy.
Yeah,
I know
I'm not sure where he went, but yeah, I'll talk. I'm Stacy Lowe. I am a realtor with Soto Property Solutions. We are a full service real estate brokerage. However, we specialize in property management. So if you have any investment properties in St. Louis or all the way down to the Cape Girardeau area, we would love to manage them for you. We do everything from start to finish. So you don't have to mess with the tenants or the vendors or the accounting or invoices, anything like that. We handle it all. So give me a call or shoot me an email if you'd like to discuss property management for your rentals. My email is Stacy, STACY, @Soto, SOTOPS.com. And then my office number 636-305-3380, and I'm extension 311. And I will also put all of that in the chat. And then there's something new that I found out too that I wanted to share. In Bellefontaine neighbors, I don't know how to pronounce it. Apparently they just passed a law that if you have rentals there, you have to pay $300 per door for a rental registry. So if anybody has investment properties there, beware, that's going to be coming up. I know St. Louis realtors just found out about it, and they're going to try to sit down with them and like talk to them and maybe get them to amend that. But as of right now, $300 per door for a rental registration.
And that's Bellefontaine neighbors, you said, Stacy?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very expensive.
Wow.
So can I ask, what are you actually registering for? Just to be in a database, to have your rental in their database, to put it on their website? Like what is your 300?
I think to just be like register as a landlord that you have rentals in the area. I know like Berkeley has one, and I think it's $50 a door. So like a lot of places are starting to do the rental registration. I'm not sure exactly what information. I think each one's a little different on what they're looking for, but $300 is a bit excessive.
Yeah, Ferguson has had a landlord license. I don't know that they still do that, but when we had some rentals out there, we used to have to do that every year. And I want to say, I don't know if it was per door, but it was per property for sure. It might have been per door, but it was about $125 every year. And they would actually drive by. They didn't always do an inspection inside, but they would drive by and just make sure the property was there. I know we had to apply for it every year, even if we already had stuff on file, like your personal driver's license and that stuff. They wanted the owner's information. So I had to give that to them every year. So that may be a similar spinoff of something like that. And that's another good thing to maybe be asking Jason Schroer, our county inspector, on Tuesday. Maybe bring up some of those questions just to see, because I'm sure he's up on that. So that'll be a good meeting to find out maybe more about it. Thank you, Stacy. And Stacy also is a member of our St. Louis Housing Coalition there too. I don't know that she's going to meet with us on Monday, but she's there at every month with our meetings too, and she's a very, very big contributor. So we appreciate you filling us in on that, Stacy. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I missed the last couple meetings, so I wasn't invited to the Monday one, but oh well. I'll get the email with all the updates though.
Well, yeah, the one Monday is just a couple of us. It's not the whole coalition, because we're looking at, they've got, well, without getting into too many details, they've got some things that are they need some help with. And I know Katharyn Davis will be there too, but we're looking at maybe trying to get our group to help. And maybe what we're trying to do is have a smaller group of us first meet, and then see if we can bring it to the larger group with the opportunities, because there's always ways to do stuff, but you know how it goes sometimes. It's let's get some ideas and see if we can do something first.
Yeah,
and then we'll figure out how to do that. But there's a lot of opportunities in St. Louis. I know we talked to Peter Hoffman last year. He's with the group that heads up the vacant properties, and there's over 20,000 vacant properties in the city of St. Louis alone, and over 16,000 has buildings on them of some type, and there are all kinds of buildings. Now we went out. We were looking at putting together a tour for our group, bus tour. And it didn't really materialize, because we went out and looked at some of the properties, and some of these, they look really good from the front. Then you walk around to the back and there's nothing there. Some of the neighborhoods have gone downhill, and there are ways, of course, to improve everything, but a lot of it is just maybe too much for some of the smaller investors to take on right out of the gate. So that's something we're still looking at though. So we may put something together on that as the year goes on, but there's just so many opportunities. And I know one of the things we're
just know that, sorry to interrupt, but just know that if they're in a historical district, they are very strict on like how high your fence can be. You can't put up, so if you're in a neighborhood where you need to protect your property from squatters, it's very difficult, because they don't allow you to do burglar bars or anything like that. They also don't allow you to have anything other than wood windows. If you have to replace a window, sometimes only on certain sides of the building, sometimes not. So it's really important that before you make an offer, that you find out. You can find that on the St. Louis website. What's it called? I'm drawing a blank on it, but it has all that information about like if it's in a historic district, how many family is the building, if it's zoned for, residential, multifamily, single family, et cetera. But keep that in mind when you are looking to buy, because there are some very strict requirements in what they call the historic districts.
Yeah, thank you, Renee. We kind of just kind of brushed on that earlier with Penny Window, because that's one of the properties I had was they kind of narrowed it down to the conservation district, I think is what they made it sound a little nicer by saying, and there's a whole division on that. And you do have to follow their guidelines. That was one of the things. I could not have a regular window put in my place down in Baden there. It had to be one of the curved windows that matched the original architecture. So that's a really good point, because some of these neighborhoods, and that's one of the problems we did run into also when we were looking to putting together our bus tour, is you do have all these guidelines you have to follow. And I've seen people do this too. In fact, in our neighborhood down there, they just go ahead and do stuff without getting the permits and the proper authorization they need. They'll have you rip all your windows back out. There was a guy in Florissant several years ago that did that it was the historical district there, conservation district. And he put in all the latest brand new windows, efficient and all that kind of stuff. And then he was starting to put in the siding. And you may have seen this. It was because it was a big thing in the news. This goes back several years, but right in the middle of that, the city of Florissant shut him down, and then they were requiring him to yank out all the windows, put back in the wooden windows, even though they were going to be new, just like just like what was in there. And same thing with the siding. He could not put in the new siding that he wanted. And he got tied up in years in court with that. In the meantime, he just left it there. And it was a mess. It was over, I think, on St. Jack's, if I remember right. And it was kind of an interesting story. I'll see if I can find out more information. But that's a great point, Renee. If you do anything, and that's one of the things to know of too, in any place you're doing business in, is to know who you have to deal with. Going back to the Historical Society, somebody I took a course from many years ago on wholesaling. She did some properties in the city of Savannah in Georgia. And she did 4 properties. They came in and they were, she had done a couple before, but then she got into the historic district, just like what we're talking about. And they shut her down right in the middle of it. And then come to find out, the historical district there was 2 old ladies that knew all about Savannah. And they regulated everything from the kind of windows to the kind of siding to what landscape you could put in, and even the colors of what you could paint the interior like, even the shades. So that was quite an experience, and that's always a good thing to know, is what you're getting into. And I know a lot of people don't do that. They just go in there, because if you just only go by dollar signs or go by the numbers, a lot of times you'll get in there and that's the stuff you'll run into. So that's always good stuff to know where you're dealing and who you got to deal with. So.
Right. And depending what it is and where, I mean, you always want to put a buffer in your, and make sure the numbers work as far as like repairs and whatnot. You always want a buffer, but you want an even bigger buffer if you're in a historic district or in the city. If you haven't replaced your piping in a few years, they'll make you do the part out to the street. I've never known a city to do that, but you have to pay for the pipe that comes from the street into the house, the water pipe. So, yeah, I've never heard of that before, but they do that in St. Louis.
That actually is common in a lot of places too. We had one, speaking of water pipes, down in Park Hills a few years ago. We had a multifamily and we were looking at expanding it so we could put in washer and dryer and some other things like that. Well, the main water pipe was up on the corner, which we would have had to pay for the engineering and then pay to replace it. Well, back in the day when they first put those in, they were all wooden. It wasn't even metal. So we were going to have to go in and replace the whole thing. And it was going to cost quite a bit, because we were going to have to foot the bill for the whole neighborhood, not just for our property, to bring it all up to par. And as it ended up dying right there, because it was going to be close to, I don't know, it was like $100,000. We got the engineering work done and some things that we looked at, but it was just way too much money. We ended up not doing it. So that's a great point. In fact, and I would encourage anybody too. I know, Renee, you've done some properties in St. Louis, so you probably have some experience with the conservation and historical district, but you really need to know what you're dealing with and what the guidelines are. And even, I know I like to always call it the fudge factor, because you're always stuff you gotta add like that, and you have to leave a buffer, but sometimes 10 or 15% may not be enough. You just don't know what you're getting into. So it's always best. And I know we've talked about inspectors before, and a lot of people don't want to spend the $500 or $600 they charge, but a lot of times that'll keep you from getting into something that might be over your head or your level of expertise. So.
Right. Pay now or pay a whole bunch later, with both when it comes to inspections and it comes to alcohol.
Exactly.
Pay the money now so you don't pay later.
Yeah, great point, Renee. So that's always best to know. And a lot of times we just don't know until we find out. There's no way I would have known that window down there in Baden needed to be the curved original style without going through that. As it turned out, it cost me more than a regular, I could have replaced it with a regular window for just a couple $100. And I think it was about $500 or $600 by the time they made a custom window for me, but there's no way you would know that. And if you don't have a little bit of money put aside, you could be stuck with some of that kind of stuff. And the inspectors are going to drive by, the code enforcement are going to drive by your property. And if you get on their bad list, or you make a name for yourself and stick out like a sore thumb, they are going to come after you. You're going to have to fix it. So great stuff. All right. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share with us today? I know we're coming up. Oh, we're just over the hour here. A lot of good conversation today. A lot of good opportunities. And like I said, we've got our main event on Tuesday night at the Moolah Shrine Center. We will be on Zoom for anybody that can't make it in person. We do encourage you to show up though, because we do have Jason Shore, the St. Louis County Housing Inspector. And
we will also be having pizza.
we're having pizza. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, Lloyd wasn't here to remind us. Thank you, Laura. That was something a lot of people really missed, so we decided to start having some food again. And also, we do have, if anybody's interested in joining us for our official holiday we declared on Monday, Nothing Down Robert Allen Day, I do encourage you to go ahead and just show up and say hi, if nothing else, and just see what we're doing. So if not, we'll see you next Friday. If nothing else, every Friday we're in we just started our 5th year last month. So we thank everybody for tuning in and making this as much fun as it actually is, because I have a lot of fun doing this. And I hope you do too. And we all learn stuff, and it's a great place to network. So
Thank you,
all right,
John.
we'll see y'all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.